Hey everyone, my name is Sahil, and in today's video, we will discuss how to select your earth rod's dimensions and some common misconceptions related to these dimensions. Wrong selection of your earth rod dimensions puts your electrical safety at risk. But why should you listen to me? At Axis, we have been manufacturing a wide range of earthing and lightning protection products, including earth rods, for the past 30 years. You see our products installed in solar farms, data centers, commercial and residential projects in more than 100 countries around the world. So let's start with the basics. What is an earth rod? An earth rod is a type of earth electrode and is an essential part of any lightning protection and earthing system. An earth electrode is a conducting element buried deep in the ground which enables the flow of fault currents into the earth. These electrodes come in a variety of materials, shapes and sizes, including pipes, plates, and even a ring around the structure or as an earth rod. There are different types of earth rods like copper, copper bonded, stainless steel, and even galvanized steel. Each has a different application and cost effectiveness. Pure copper has the best conductivity. Copper bonded rods work best in normal soil. Stainless steel prevents galvanic corrosion, and galvanized steel offers the most economical option. We have a detailed video explaining all of these different types of earth rods. The link is in the description. The problem really arises when you compromise on dimensions to save cost and choose the wrong diameter and length. Earth rod dimensions should be selected based on your specific application. For an earthing system design, dimensions depend on fault current and soil resistivity as per IEEE 80. If you're selecting earth rods for a lightning protection system, the dimensions depend on the cross-sectional area as per IEC 62305, which is also followed in India. However, different countries follow their own standards based on fault currents and lightning current dissipation. Let's understand this in detail. Cross-section area is the thickness of your earth rod measured in millimeters. It determines how much lightning current your rod can safely carry. Look at this table from IEC 62305-3. It specifies minimum cross-section requirements for different materials. The logic behind these measurements is simple. Different materials have different electrical conductivity and thermal properties. Because of this, when lightning current passes through a conductor, the material's ability to handle that becomes critical. IC 62305-3 defines the minimum cross-sectional area required to carry the peak lightning current safely, limit temperature rise, and withstand the mechanical stress caused by electromagnetic forces. If the rod is smaller than this requirement, it can't handle the energy from a lightning strike. It will overheat, weaken, and even may fail, putting your structure's electrical safety at risk. Now that you have chosen your material and its thickness, now comes the critical question. How long should your earth rod be for lightning protection? The length of your earth rod determines its electrical resistance to the ground, and it is selected as per the level of protection required. Resistance is the opposition to electrical current flow. When lightning strikes, it needs a low resistance path to safely dissipate into the ground. If your rod is too short, the resistance stays high, and the lightning current cannot escape efficiently. This causes voltage buildup, which can damage your structure and equipment. Your earth rod's length directly relates to soil conditions. Soil resistivity measures how well soil conducts electricity. This varies by location. Sandy or rocky soil has high resistivity, meaning it conducts electricity poorly. Clay and moist soil have low resistivity, meaning they conduct electricity well. For example, a 1 meter rod in moist clay soil achieves far better earthing than the same rod in rocky soil. Hence, to compensate for poor soil, you need a longer rod. In soft and moist soil, you need to drive the earth rod at least 3 meters deep. In poor or rocky soil, use longer rods or install multiple rods in parallel to get proper earthing. Spacing is important too. If you use 2 rods, keep at least 1 rod length between them. For example, if your rod is 3 meters long, space them at least 3 meters apart. This prevents the grounding zones from overlapping and keeps the system efficient. If you're finding this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more videos on electrical engineering. Next, the selection of your earth rod dimensions for your earthing system. Here, the selection process is different from lightning protection. While lightning protection focuses on handling peak currents during a strike, Earthing systems handle continuous fault currents and prevent electrical shock as per IEEE 80. So, how do you choose the right length and diameter for your rods? You start by calculating the resistance. Resistance shows how easily fault current can flow into the earth. Lower resistance means the current flows out faster and safer. Higher resistance means less current can escape. According to IEEE 80, you can use this formula to calculate the relationship. It shows the relationship between soil resistivity, rod length, rod diameter, and the total resistance you get. The rod resistance formula is as follows. Here, R is the resistance in ohms, Rho is the soil resistivity in ohm meters, L is rod length in meters, and D is rod diameter in millimeters. Let's understand this with an example. Let's say you have soil with resistivity of 100 ohm meters. You're considering two rods. One is 3 meters long with 16 millimeters diameter, and another is 6 meters long with the same diameter. For the 3 meter rod, after applying the formula, your resistance comes out to approximately 33 ohms. For the 6 meter rod, your resistance drops to approximately 19 ohms. Depending on the resistance you need, you can reach that value in two ways, either by driving a single rod deeper into the ground or by using 2 or more rods connected in parallel. I hope you're now understanding how to select the earth rod. At Axis, we have a team of 50 engineers who do the design, installation, and testing of earthing and lightning protection systems as per your soil conditions and your project requirements. Our products have been installed in substations, data centers, factories, and even in everyday residential and commercial buildings. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on electrical engineering. But before you move on to another video, I think you need to understand how to test your earth rods properly as per the international standards. You can watch the video right here for that.